Okay, I'm trying some technology tonight and it wasn't working, but it's okay. Welcome to Winning Wednesday, and I'm glad you're here. I'm delighted you're here, and we have some folks who are chiming in, and I am doing my best to try to stream this to Instagram Live as well, but we'll see how it goes. So I hope you've had a great week. My niece Taylor used to say it was hump day up on the hill at Prairie View. So Wednesday is like hump day. We're halfway through, and delighted you're here with me tonight for the Win Without Perfection or Permission podcast. Tonight, I am talking to an amazing woman, amazing, and I'm delighted she's here. We're going to get right into it. Her name is Kimberly Bloom, and she's a native of Bryan College Station. I did not know that. I thought it was Somerville up down the way. So it's Bryan College Station, and she is from a big family. She is the seventh of 9 children. With the extended family, there are 11. Her mother is the amazing Dr. Doris Higginbottom, and I hope I'm saying that right. Kimberly, get me straight if I'm saying it wrong. And I love her mom. She's an amazing woman. She just celebrated her 77th birthday last weekend. And Kimberly, as she described to me, she said, you know what? She's an open person. She's full of life, lots of life and experiences that she has had. And she is the mother to 2 amazing young men, ETG, as he is called or referred to, and she'll tell us more about that. And also Sir Philip. And so with that, will you help me clap it up for my friend, the fabulous, the amazing, the brave, the bold, Kimberly Bloom. She's coming on in. Hey, Kimberly.
Hey, y'all. Yes, it's me, honey. They say she was shaved just a second ago. I was. Okay. We doing
That's why I love her. She said past tense. I was.
We doing it all.
We're doing it all. So we're going to talk about all of that tonight. And thank you. Thank you for being here. And there are so many on, I think some family folks and others who are clapping it up for you. And I wanted you here because it's a new year. It's still a new year. It's 2024. And that's how I'm keeping it in my mind. It's still a new year. And this idea of, I started at the beginning of the year listing these 6 or 7 P's, the letter P as alliterations around some things. And one of those P's was push, like push. Mm-hmm. And as I thought about you and delighted that you were on, I wanted to hear how you have pushed and made things happen for yourself, or when there have been setbacks, what you needed to do, but mostly help us understand that we are a gift because you embrace that. And let's before we jump in, I shared a little about you, but what would you add to that? What else can you tell us about yourself? Anything that you loved or enjoyed doing? Anything that I'm left out that you could tell us about yourself?
You know, I love family. As you mentioned, I am from a huge family. I love laughing. I love traveling. Food is awesome. I appreciate Jesus Christ. I could say that. Fashion, being able to express yourself, that's something that I enjoy as well. So those things I would add on to what you said, but you did very well. And you did say Higginbottom correctly. Good job.
Okay. Look at God, won't he do it?
Yes, he will every time.
I'm delighted. So let's get to it. I was talking about this thing about kind of push and from the time I met you, our mutual friend, Dr. Gina Jerkins, introduced us. And I know you all have been longtime friends from way back. And I remember seeing you and just thinking regal, royal, the way you carry yourself, the way you hold your head up, the way you address people, the way you completely comfortable in your skin, bold, all of those things, confidence. And, you know, I've admired that. Real talk. Maybe I've never said it, but I absolutely do. And I have. And I want to know, where did that come from? Tell us about that.
You know what? I can say that I haven't always been, full of confidence or bold. I did go through things in life where I had to come to know who I am, and I had to appreciate who I am, and I had to embrace the things about me that I may not have thought were lovely. And so I believe through life, going through different circumstances, I came to know who I am. And
Mm-hmm.
that being said, I like who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I came to realize I like me.
Mm-hmm.
And and I believe God made each of us who he chose to make us to be. And so if we take some time with ourselves, get to know ourselves, I think everyone will just kind of realize, you know what? I happen to like me, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I just use who I am and who God has created me to be. So when I come into spaces, I try to encourage people. I say, girlfriend, you doing that. You look nice. Oh, you smell good, brother. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
try to use those things to lift people as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so coming to this place, was there a particular catalyst or something that made you get there, or was it this process? I mean, you talked about going through things.
Oh
And
yeah. I
I mean, we
mean,
celebrate you now, but what I'm kind of hearing
correct.
is maybe that wasn't the case all the time,
It
Kim.
was not always the case. I mean, we I was raised in a single parent home. Mom is an amazing woman. And when I say with 9 children, she never made me feel less than. She never made me feel as though I could not do something. But life happens. You understand what I'm saying? And so, with that being said, I had my son very young, and you know the situation, basically he walked away from us, and so that was rejection for me, right? And so when you go through rejection, it causes you to look at who you are, and if you're not able to process it in the correct manner, you may think that it's something wrong with you. And I
Wait,
just say,
okay. I have to say this. I say this every Wednesday. Don't worry if you didn't make it to Bible study, because there's going to be a teach right here, and you're just really giving us some, just so right, the finger. That's you just gave us such power and truth right there.
about to come in there right there.
Right there, because when people walk away, I mean, that was the case in our family. Dad left, and there is residual, there is a whole thing that happens with that. So I
Absolutely.
just wanted to put a pin there, and for everybody here tonight, please grab these moments, grab these nuggets, because what you're helping is a whole lot. Go right ahead.
Because I cannot make anyone do anything, Charlotte. I can't make someone understand this was the best thing you ever was going to have and be blessed with. And so if someone chooses to walk away, by all means, allow them to. Did it hurt? Did it hurt? Yes. Especially when you believe that you love that person. It hurt. But then it caused me to be able to have time to myself, to come to know who I am, to come to know my worth. And so it was just a processing that took place. It was a processing that took place. I mean, it was horrible. It was
Mhm.
horrible. All of the crying and, oh, because at first I didn't know, as I said, I didn't know how to process it. I didn't know how to comprehend it. And that's why we need one another to understand when life is lifing.
Mhm.
Need those good girlfriends, right?
Mhm.
And and I'm going to say this, even when you do have the good girlfriends, because I have good girlfriends, it's an inside job.
Mm, let me drop my mic. This is my mic. I'm dropping it.
It's an inside job.
Because they can add and speak to us, and we can
And
take all of that,
rain
rain
on us,
on us, pray over us, anoint us, and speak to us.
dust
But
us
at
off,
the
and
end of
all
the
those things.
day, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's Kim's heart. It's Kim's heart that has to say, girlfriend, listen, you are awesome. You're great. You didn't deserve it, but guess what? You're going to be all right. Then you get up and let's go.
It's
get up.
inside. So the encouragement, even though they're the good girlfriends and everybody, it's you telling yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So you're already speaking to this topic of celebrating the gift of us
Oh, yeah,
and acknowledging that it's us speaking to us. Girls, get
absolutely.
up. Hmm.
Absolutely. And as I said, I love Jesus Christ. I love Jesus Christ. So I believe he wants to do life with us. And that's the whole reason why we have to be careful with that, kind of making people believe that you have to be perfect,
Mm.
because Jesus Christ wants to do life with us.
Hmm.
As we grow and we go and we go and we grow and we go and we grow, he wants to be with us,
Hmm.
beside us, helping us, talking to us. What good father wants the child not to come to him?
Hmm.
No, the good father is like, come to me.
Yeah.
Now, what happened, baby? What happened? Right? When Mulan, when things happen, don't you want to hear about it?
Absolutely.
I want to hear from mine. I want to be with mine. I'm here for mine. So yeah, so God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, they're definitely game changers.
Game changers. And all of these you tapped into, and your mom is on here, Dr. Higginbottom. Hey, hey, mom.
Hey, Mama, Dr. Mom.
And so harnessing all of these things to help you overcome
Hmm.
things,
Hmm.
really discover you.
Hmm.
And so all of that, I'm here, I'm comfortable.
Hmm.
Maybe it didn't start that way, but it's here today through all of those things. You took all of those, and like you said, inside job,
Hmm.
made the decision here. And is it a one-time thing, Kimberly, where it's one and done? You kind of say it like last week and you're good, and that carries you?
Hmm. You know what? It's not, because you have to do self checks. I call it the
Mm.
self check, where I have to take a moment to see, where am I? What are my thoughts about myself? Am I doubting myself? Am I
Mm.
talking crazy about myself? Am I thinking these silly thoughts about myself? Self check, honey. You know that self check, that engine light, come on, ding, ding, ding in the car. We have
Mhm.
that whole self check, in my opinion, about ourselves. And what that does is, when we're kind of offline, it kind of do, 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 do. It does this, bring us back in. When we're
Mhm.
offline, kind of cricket, when you self check, it brings you back in line, brings
Yeah.
you back in order
Mhm.
to,
So,
where am I going? What are my thoughts? Who am I?
yeah.
What are my goals?
So that's on a regular, it sounds like. The
Yes.
self-checks are happening.
Oh, yes. That needs
Mhm.
to be on the regular,
Mhm.
as needed.
Like when we take our car in, lights on, let's get on over there to Jiffy Lube or wherever we go to
That's
make
it.
it
As,
happen.
as we take our medicine, as we take
Oh,
in the word, as
oh,
needed. If I'm
as
sad,
needed.
I need the word. If I need to do some worshiping, if I need to call a good girlfriend, if I need to call my son, if I need to call my mom, it's as needed. You have your community, you have your village, you have your support. And because you're giving out, you're keeping that bank full. You're not just receiving, you're adding,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? And you're
Right.
keeping that bank full.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I like that. Self-checks as needed.
as needed.
Yeah. So don't assume kind of the one big internal talk, the inside
Yeah,
job talk, it's going to take care of it. We need to keep this going on the regular. That's
right,
good. That's
right.
good. So I want to pivot and talk about you, the creative.
Okay.
When you popped in from the studio, I saw your neckwear, I saw your hair,
Oh
I
yeah.
saw
Oh, yeah.
everything. And so talk about that creative piece. It's clothing, it's accessories, it's
Yeah.
hair. So where did that come from and how have you cultivated that over these years?
And it has taken place, and it has grown over the years. Um, I came to realize that what I wear, it I'm trying to see how can I word it. What I wear, how I smell, all of those things contribute to my thoughts about who I am.
Mm,
What I wear, how I carry myself, how I speak, um, my fragrances, all of those things help with the makeup of who you see. And so I came to realize, um, well, I can put on certain colors
Mm-hmm.
that'll make me feel a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
that'll lift me here, from here to there
Okay.
with colors. So, I mean, and it's the same thing with creating. I mean, the locks was a creation that God
Oh,
gave me. And then you saw how when I sat down, I was like, I'm feeling it. You know, th- this actually is a piece that I created. I wanted something black and white, put the stones on it and all of that. You can do whatever you want to do. You have one good life. What are you gonna do with it, darling?
girl, she said, darling, you got
Darling, what
one
are you
good
gonna
life. What you gonna do?
baby, what you gonna do with it? Are you gonna allow the people that what do people say? I'm too old for that. I can't wear that. Says who, baby? Who are you listening to? What are
Uh-huh.
you doing?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing? What is it you desire to do?
Uh-huh.
Who is it that you are? Because trust and understand the way that you perceive yourself, the way that you view yourself, everyone else is going to take the clue from you. So if you're sitting there, you and you just kind of and just and whatever you let's say this, whatever you're uncomfortable with, everybody around you already know because you
Oh,
said it.
yeah. And we say it in our demeanor.
Yeah,
We don't have to open our mouths at all.
not every
It's
time.
like you said, if we're kind of, or I'm always unconscious about, subconscious, self-conscious about what I've got on, or is it too tight or snug, or it's different.
Mhm.
Like you were mixing patterns way back.
I really
That
was.
just didn't happen. You've been doing that, right?
Absolutely.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Dots and stripes, plaids, um, flowers, bold colors. And then people say, you can wear that. You can get away with that. How can I get away with it? Because I believe I can. I think I can. I carry myself like I can. I step out there, honey, with the mixes and matches, honey, like it all came together. And it did because I put it together.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not looking for anyone's approval. My son said, Mommy, you went into the grocery store?
And
Give me,
did.
give me my key. And don't try to tell me what to wear.
Uh-huh. I love it.
Don't do that. Right? Because I'm me. I'm me. You be you, but I'm me.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can learn from one another, but don't shut me down because it's something that you wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable doing. If you gave me a few moments with you, you would do it and you would love it
We
because it,
having these moments now. I want you to know you helping all of us
yeah,
for real. Yes.
yeah, it would come from the inside. Why would you not feel like you could do it? Why would you not feel like you could wear a certain color?
Mm-hmm.
What do you
Mm-hmm.
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing. We have to be careful with the projection that's being placed. The things we hear when we're very young. That's why I went back to my mom, speaking about my mom, because I cannot remember a time when my mother ever made me feel like I was less than, Charlotte. Never did she ever say, with your ugly self, or oh, you dumb, and or any of those things. My mother never did that. With all of us, she never did those things. And so the foundation was built because you got to understand, honey, the building can only, how do I say it? You can only handle what the foundation is able to withstand.
Mm-hmm.
And some
Mm-hmm.
people just aren't built for it. Now, can they become? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You can
That's
become
so
whoever you desire.
Mhm. So it's not too late. And your mom has a powerful testimony. I want to have her on at some point. And I just want to say this. I know it looks like the internet's being wonky and stuff like that, but we're going to keep pressing through. This is clearly something that needs to be heard. I believe the enemy's like, let's make this weird, but we going on through. So thank you all for plugging in and staying with us on this. You keep coming back to your mother and
Mhm.
how when I say things like, where did that creativity start? Where
Mhm.
did all that confidence come from? Sounds
Mhm.
like mom was instilling it. She wasn't pulling away. She was reinforcing and like you've said repeatedly, never making you feel less than at
Mhm.
all. And so creating that foundation on
Mhm.
which to build and to grow and you mix some of you in there. It sounded like you
Mhm.
just didn't care if others thought anything about you. And it's been from way back.
Yeah.
And so you've cultivated by just continuing and
Right.
this is me. Uh-huh.
This is me. This is me.
Mhm.
I even remember I remember being in high school and at lunch, I didn't necessarily have to sit with others. I remember taking my tray and sitting by myself sometimes.
Hmm.
Like I just um and I am, and you see all these colors and all that kind of stuff, and I'm outgoing, but I'm also an introvert as well.
Hmm.
And that may be kind of a little bit difficult to believe, but when I'm in my space and when I'm crocheting and when I'm designing and when I'm creating, like I'm in a space by myself, Charlotte, where I could just forget time.
Mhm.
And I'm just happy with the gift that God has given me, the
Mhm.
different gifts, because it's not just one, it's many gifts. Um but even just saying that about me sitting by myself, sometimes I would find myself drawn to people who were born differently. In
Mm.
high school, this guy's name was his name was Shane, and he was blind. And
Oh.
but I met him in middle school. Shannon, his name was Shannon. His name was Shannon, and I met him in middle school. And I would come in and I would say his name, and he would say Kimberly, and I would give him my hand, and we walk down the hall, and honey, he'd be rocking and going, and we'd be talking and laughing, and he was just interesting to me. Like it didn't matter that he couldn't see.
Mhm.
Um, he was just special. So I it may be because I'm an artist and I see things different than people. So I think the things that some people would think is horrible, I'm gonna be like, girlfriend, I'm loving your gap, and I'm gonna put my tongue through my gap, you know, and then for her to just light up, or for him to light up and say, it's not often that I hear that. That's something that God has given me to highlight. Like you're saying, how do we celebrate, you
Mhm.
know, ourselves? How do I celebrate ourselves? Is to find those things that we may kind of hide or not want to look at, to say that very thing right there sets you apart, honey. You need to stop tucking that away and
Mm.
and embrace it, because that makes you you.
Mhm. Mhm. And you hit on what I was going to ask. How do we embrace those uniquenesses? And
Yeah.
so what I've heard you say is the things that maybe we've tucked away or we don't give a lot of credence to or space to. It's like don't shy back from that. Lean into that is what I hear you saying.
Absolutely. And embrace it, and understand that people will see it the way you see it.
Mhm.
People will
And
see it the way you see it.
yeah, but you've got to see it for yourself and be comfortable in that. So
Absolutely. You have
that's
to
so good.
you have to see it, you have to embrace it. You didn't make yourself, I didn't make myself. So guess what we're going to do? Work with what we have, right? We're going to work with what we have. We're going to embrace it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. So if anybody here is wondering, how do I celebrate the gift of me, you, yourself? It's you embrace it. Embrace whatever that is. And I got to tell you, the other day I was doing something and I don't know, I had done some little video and I needed to review it and it was me and I was like I like old girl. I'm good with Charlotte. I'm not just good with Charlotte.
Yeah,
I really love me.
yeah, yeah.
Curves, double fupa, whatever they call it, hips, all of it. I am so good with me, and that wasn't always the case. And you're right, when you feeling you, and not in a cocky way, yourself, embracing, that's a whole level of freedom. And I'm just so thankful for that. So
Absolutely.
yeah, you're helping us. You're helping us a whole lot. Go
And you know
ahead.
what? And you know what, Charlotte? I have, like, I admire you. You know, I mean, you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing. Um, we actually, you came into an event. I was at an event, and we were at like this bistro. It was with the community, and you came in, and you had the open shirt. The back of it was open. You had the jeans,
Uh-huh.
and honey, I was like, yes, sis.
I remember that. I kind
Right?
of was
I'm
like, should
sure
I wear this shirt or not? And I said, I'm putting this shirt on. It was cute. Yes, the back was
you
out
look
and it showed a little of something
amazing.
back there.
That's right.
I enjoyed that. Yes,
You look
ma'am.
amazing. And that's the thing, embracing who you are. Um and surrounding yourself with people who will celebrate you.
Yeah.
You know, I was with someone who tolerated me.
Mm.
If we can go there.
Please. I was going to ask you, I was going to say, so nice segue. I was going to say, lest any of us think, man, Kim has just always been on top. She talked about, a few things, but has it always been where you've
Mm-mm.
been up here and it's been great?
It hasn't always been. You know, I was with someone who tolerated me. Well, Kim, how did you know? Because when I entered the room, you know, honey, you got to always read the room. You know how people are perceiving you, how people are receiving you
Yeah.
based on their energy when you enter the room. When I see you and when I see others, I'm cheering. I light up. You're looking to see and be honest. It hurts
Mhm.
when sometime um, those you love and those who you're cheering for aren't necessarily cheering for you.
That's right.
That's life, right? You can't stop them, but you can definitely determine you won't be up in my space.
Hmm. Hmm.
You won't be in my circle.
Right.
You could put space between you. And so, because the thing is again, how people perceive you and how they perceive life is an inside job. And we all have been hurt. We all have been disappointed. We all have been lied to, um, in all of those negative things, right? But it's up to us to determine who are we,
Right.
because you really perceive people based on yourself.
Hmm.
You
It's
know,
through your lens. It's through
through
my
your
lens. Exactly. Hmm.
because the liar always thinks everybody is lying.
Mm.
The cheater
Mm.
always thinks everybody is cheating. Why?
Mm.
Because they are.
Hmm.
And so if you're trustworthy, then you're trusting what people are saying until they show you different.
Until they show you different. Hmm.
Until they show you different. Now, when they show you different, like Maya Angelou say, once someone shows you who they are, believe them.
And when they show you the first time,
The
the
first
first
time,
time.
the very first time,
Hmm. Hmm.
the very first time, you don't have to continue to go through those things that are negative, things that bring you down, things that draw you down, things that make you feel that, oh, when I'm done with that, when I'm finished interacting with that person, and each time I'm done with an interaction, I feel
Mm.
down. I feel like I'm not as good as who I thought I was to
Mhm.
myself. You know, that person leaves a negative taste in my mouth every time. You don't
Mm.
have to deal with that.
Mm.
You're not desperate.
Mhm. I just keep giggling because you keep dropping the nuggets. We're not desperate.
Ask my sons. I say that all the time, babe. We are not
Mm.
desperate.
Mhm.
Because when you're desperate, You do desperate things.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's going to cost you. Trust me.
Yeah. I love how you're whispering it to us so it sinks in here
Oh,
and
yeah.
here in our head and our heart that we're
Yeah.
getting that. Yeah.
It
Is-
costs you. It
mhm,
costs you. It breaks you down. It broke me down.
mm,
It broke me down. So now what people are seeing now today, they're like, ooh, honey, once upon a time. That's why I say you do not have to settle, because that used to be me.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And you're helping us. You're helping us get that, whether it's a relationship or it's
Yeah.
work or whatever it might be. Yeah, we don't have to stay there. And you talked about how it hurts, yet the journey and the process and the work
Yes.
and, digging in, having the circle, having the community to help us.
Yes.
But ultimately, it's up to us. And
Yes.
that makes a huge difference. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So we're seeing.
listening to wisdom.
Mhm,
Because if you have your village around you, um, the point of the village is to help you along your journey. So when you get advice, you probably want to take it. Isn't that the point? Right.
right. Mhm,
Um, and so that's something I had to grow into that. Um, and I can say this: my sons, they're at their ages, they're at a different place than where I was at their age. And I thank God for that. But I had to hit some bumps. I had to, go through some bruises. I had to learn in the way that I thought I had to learn. Um, but the good thing about it is if you have awesome people around you, um, don't even go there.
mhm,
Try not
mhm.
to go there. Try to listen and be prayerful and just be, take a moment and say, okay, let me just put the brakes on and try not to think that I know everything,
Mhm,
because I don't know everything.
mhm. That's good. And as adults, as a woman who's wise and who's experienced a lot, raising sons, raised them,
Mhm.
still being in a place where you can receive
Mhm.
insight and wisdom. And I
Mhm.
love what you're saying, take it, act on the
Mhm.
advice that we're given.
Mhm. Yes.
That's why people are put in our lives. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
That's good. So I want to pivot and we're getting to time, but I want to talk about a very special part of your life, which
Okay.
is being a mom to your amazing sons. And
Yeah.
I'm going to try this. Let's see if this
Okay.
technology will let me do this. I'm going to pop a picture in so folks can see. Let's see if it'll work.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yay, there we are.
Yes.
Good. Tell us who we have here.
Sir Philip have the cross, and then ETG is on the other side.
Hmm.
ETG is Elijah the Great. That's the name that I gave him. And then Sir Philip. Um, they are some of the best parts of who I am, Charlotte.
Hmm. I see the smiles say it all.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
are. Because as I mentioned just a few moments ago, where they are in their lives at this space and time, I mean, they have um, gone further than me. Hey, Philip, I see you. Sir Philip, I see you. And so I'm just proud. And I tell them that often. I tell them that often that I am proud of you and that you are some of the best parts of who I am. Because they were given to me.
Yeah.
They were given to me. We're doing life together. And I'm just grateful to have them, Charlotte. I
Hmm.
really am. I
Hmm.
really am. And in loving them, I've come to understand. So I had Phil very young, had him in high school. And with Phil, I felt like I needed to control Phil. I felt like I needed to manipulate Phil to be who I wanted him to be. And that's not That's not God's way. God does not do that. He does not manipulate us, Charlotte.
So where do you think that came from, Kimberly, that you felt the need to do that, to mother him, parent him in that way?
Well, I mean, I was raised my mother was extremely, she disciplined us in a way that was loving. And she let us know what it was going to be. And so, here I am mothering, and I'm doing the same thing, feeling like I need to tell my son in a certain way about what he needed to do,
Mhm.
about, and I'm saying him because by the time I got to Elijah, almost a decade later, I had learned so much.
Right.
But not only had I learned, my mom had learned.
Mm,
So
mhm,
she was able to let me know, baby, don't do that.
mhm,
Don't
mhm,
say that. Don't discipline him like that. Don't
mhm,
hit him like that. And so um, change began to take place. So Philip knows me completely
mhm,
to be a completely different person than who Elijah
mhm,
or ETG knows me to be.
mhm.
Now, do I ever make like I'm not who I was in high school, who Philip um, came to know me to be? No. So when Phil is like, when he deals with me, we laugh and stuff because he like, wait a minute, because he's gonna deal with me how he knows me to be.
Right.
Whereas Elijah's like, he doesn't understand that because
Mhm,
he never knew me to be that person. But
mhm,
I never discount who I was during that time with Phil or Phil's experience with me.
mhm.
Yeah,
Understood.
I don't do that. I
Good.
don't do that because it's important because I'm Philip's mother. I'm not my mama. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. I fully do.
And
Mhm,
so if Philip say you over here cutting up and you messing up, or you really wasn't a good mom at this stage of my life, mom, then I can't turn around and say, well, I love you. I need to talk with my son and see how can I fix that situation if it has not already been fixed.
that's good. So you helping us from a parenting perspective as well. And I love how you've even referenced how Dr. Doris,
Mhm,
your
mhm,
mother,
mhm,
as she grew through this
mhm,
process while you're parenting, to be able to pour into you and
mhm,
to offer wisdom and that you listened.
mhm,
So, and then not rejecting what Sir Philip may be presenting to
mhm,
you. That
mhm.
was his reality.
That was his
It's his
reality.
truth. And so
Mhm,
if you as his mom were to go, nah, 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 it's like then are we denying him what is his truth? And so for any of us as parents, that I think is so critical. I remember once my mother saying to us, raised in a single parent home as well, I'm the oldest of
mhm,
five. And she said, if I had it to do all over again, I would have talked more. We would have had more conversations. And she said, I just knew I did what I knew to do. And she wasn't a bad, my mom's amazing. She said, but there were five of y'all and one of
mhm.
me. Y'all were not going to get the best of me.
Yes. That's it. That's it.
So, yet to hear her
Mhm,
evolve
mhm,
and to hear your mom,
mhm.
like, I see it differently,
Yes,
and she's passing that wisdom on to you, and you were receiving it, and
yes,
even now as, Sir Philip, a wonderful young man who's living on
yes,
in the East Coast doing his thing,
yes,
here
yes,
supporting tonight, as he's able to talk to you and to share and you're receptive. I love that. I love that
yes.
about you too.
And
Mhm.
and that's the biggest thing. Um, Giving the instruction, but then also saying why. Okay, if this, we have to determine what are we doing, and
Mhm.
that starts when they're young. We call
Mhm.
it the plan. Come up with the plan, stick with the plan, follow the plan, know when you have won, seal the deal. Like we have our steps, And it's not just for the children, it's for me as well. The Bible say that they are as arrows in our hands. So, honey, I grab that arrow, which is
Mhm.
my son,
And you quiver.
and I hear and I pull
Mhm.
and I shoot them. But I need to know what are their strong areas.
Mhm.
And that comes from knowing our children. That
Yes.
comes from talking to our children and getting to know our children and then saying, hey, what about you doing this?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because that's what life you want, that life that you want, this thing, this gift that God has given you, you going in that direction will afford you that.
Right.
That'll never happen if I'm your mama and you gonna listen and do what I say do.
Mhm. So it's finding out their strong suits, finding out their interest. I know that certainly that's our aim with Milan, and not trying to make her like a little Charlotte or a little Ron. It's like, let's help you be who you are, who you're called to be, and what that is. And that may or may not be something that is how we did it when we grew up, or when I was your age, I was paying for this and paying for that. That's not, and that's not fair to, I think, evoke or load onto our children.
That's
So
correct.
I hear
Because
you saying
Charlotte, when it's all said and done, if I leave here before my children, what will I have left here
that. Hmm.
by way of my children?
Yeah,
What will I have left?
that's good.
I
That's
want to
how we
make
have
sure
to
I do
think
well.
about it. Yeah, and you are doing well. So I wanna bring it to this because I want to honor and respect your time and
Mhm,
everybody who's on, and you all have been so great. Anything in parting, whether it's around parenting, being
mhm,
creative,
mhm,
following your passion,
mhm,
picking up after there's
mhm,
been a disappointment, whether it's a relationship or a choice you've made, anything that you would leave for us. If somebody's just
mhm,
jumping on now,
mhm,
hearing this, or they'll catch the replay,
mhm.
this thing about embracing all of us, the gift of me, the gift of you, who we are. Anything you'd say to us?
Right. It would be always hold on to hope. Because as long as you hold on to hope, then you will continue to move forward. And just because there's a situation that you don't necessarily know all of the details to, don't allow that to keep you from moving forward. Please understand the things that you're needing to do. If you believe that God loves you and that you are called by him and that your steps are ordered, please understand you better get where you're going,
Mm,
because where you're going is where the blessing is. I tell my sons, I say, whenever the Israelites, when they got ready to come to the Red Sea, I imagine, because I'm an artist and I love drama, I imagine the waters talking to one another saying, hey, today we get a chance to stand up. We get a
mm,
chance to stand up today, because
mhm,
God had already spoke to the waters on what they were going to do, and the water was ready to obey. So there
mhm.
are people that he has already spoken to about you. You better get where you're supposed to be, because those people are ready to do what must be done, because God has already spoken to them about you. Let's go.
It's me and my mic again. I just dropped it because she said, let's go. You got to
Let's
get there.
go.
The plan. I love that. There's a plan. Create the plan. Get it together, figure it out, not just for our children, but for ourselves.
Even for ourselves. We have, because we can't talk them through it, y'all. We got to walk them through it.
Mm-hmm.
We have to walk them through it.
We have to be the model. We've got to be the template so they can see it and they can see what's happening. So, listen, you have blessed us tonight. And here's what I need you all to do in this chat. There have been tons of great comments. Let Kimberly know how she blessed you. Either capture that phrase, that thing, that nugget that really resonated with you, or whatever it is. Let her know. So when she goes back and looks at this, she'll see. I literally pray with everybody who's on before we go live. Didn't we do that tonight, Kimberly?
Absolutely.
Sure did. And the goal is, let somebody be blessed, be encouraged, be stirred, be inspired. And you have certainly done that for me. And I know everybody who's on. So you all let Kimberly know, put some stuff in the chat. And Kimberly, I am honored. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing. And we're going to have you on another time. I think we're doing a part 2. We talked about that, maybe having you and Sir Philip on.
That would
I
be
know
great.
Dr. Doris, we talked about having her on because she's got a great testimony of overcoming and conquering and doing great things in her life throughout her life. So awesome. Thank you. I'm going to let you go and I'm going to hang with you all very quickly tonight, but let Kimberly know in the chat how her words have blessed her tonight. Kimberly, I love you. I appreciate you. I got something for you. Be on the lookout, okay?
Thank you. Until next.
Thank you. You all, thank you. Thank you so much for being here tonight and helping me let Kimberly know how great she is. Please put those comments in the chat. And if you didn't share this, go ahead and share it, tag with somebody. That's my goal. And Winning Wednesday. We're winning without perfection or permission in every area of our lives. I've got some great guests lined up. What I'm trying to do is make sure I am spreading the love. I know I have lots of women on. I resonate with women, and that's my community. And I want to have gentlemen on. So every month we'll have a female guest and then a male guest. And I've got some great folks lined up, and I'll be tapping some of you as well. So thank you for being here. Remember, we're going to win without perfection or permission in every single area of our lives. Thank you for being here. Good night.